All right, CoastLife. October is Fire Prevention Month. And we know that fires, I mean, they can be really devastating in our community. I mean, yes, there's a lot of community outreach and support, but the damage is just, it can be unreal.
It seems like we see them often, you know, unfortunately more often than we should.
I think that's exactly what I'm in agreement with you on that. But in the event of a fire, there are people you can count on to sort of help you, not necessarily pick up the pieces, but help you start recovering, giving you kind of your own identity back a little bit in the face of a fire. Joining us on the couch today with CoastLife is William Cook with Paul Davis Restoration. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you guys doing?
Good. We're doing pretty
well.
Happy
to have
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So you're a volunteer firefighter.
Yes.
You see, I mean, I think you sort of a unique perspective as not only a firefighter, but as a restoration company employee. You kind of see all angles of the damage fires can do and the steps to take to kind of repair. And you've been working on sort of a community-based program, right?
Yes, we have. So Paul Davis is big in community outreach and helping the community. So I'm in charge of an emergency recovery program that I'm building with Paul Davis. And what that is, you know, me being a first responder, I'm kind of switching my gears to being with Paul Davis as a first responder. And every house fire that I can get to, I'm going to be responding out. I'm going to be on scene, putting boots on the ground, working with the firefighters, setting up areas to give them water, Gatorade, sandwiches, food. Go back to the firehouse, help them clean the trucks, put the hoses back, whatever they need. But also the main point would be putting the homeowner first in the community and what their needs are. With them just losing everything, it's nice for them to have something of their own to take somewhere when they got to leave their house. And we want to be the company that provides that for them. Care packs with, toothbrush, toothpaste, blankets, deodorant, coloring books for kids, teddy bears, whatever that looks like. So when they go somewhere, they have something that kind of feels like their own when they're walking into that. And even, up to putting them in a hotel so they have a warm bed at night and they have somewhere guaranteed to go that, they don't have any worries. And that's kind of what we want to focus on with this program, to do a lot of community outreach and help the community.
That's incredible.
It is incredible, and it's not something that you really see a lot sort of spearheaded by a remodeling company. That's something very unique to Paul Davis and what you guys do, and it speaks to how you guys are really involved in your community outreach.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, I know this is Fire Prevention Month, but we cover, or I will be covering as well, fires, storm damage, floods, whatever your traumatic event is in your time of need. We want people to know that they have a friend in their corner that's going to look out for them as a homeowner. And us be there to be there for them.
Yeah. And I mean, in the event of damage to a home, be it a fire or a storm or some other natural disaster, you guys do those kinds of restorations. And I mean, it is a necessary step too in sort of getting your house back. What do you sort of walk customers through when it comes to a restoration project in the face of a disaster like that?
So basically, once we, let things settle down and we get them, what they need, a care package, get everything they need for a hotel room straight, excuse me. I'll make an appointment with them like the following day because I don't want to bombard somebody with too much information that day of the fire. And I'll follow up with them the following day and say, okay, well, you got valuables, you got stuff in there. We can secure the property. We can take all your valuables out. We can do contents cleaning as far as ultrasonic cleaners and trying to get things as close as we can back to the original face of what it was before the fire. And then after that, we walk them through step by step with insurance companies. We work with every insurance company and basically make sure that they don't really have to do much of anything. One thing that, I look at and pride myself with Paul Davis that they do is, a homeowner doesn't want to constantly repeat the same story about their fire. It's a traumatic event. And so we pride ourselves on trying to only make them have to say their story once. And once they say their story, then we take it from there for you. And we make sure everything's handled A to Z, from securing it to the contents cleaning to reconstructing it until we turn the key back over to you to walk back into your house to where it's back to the original living condition that it was before the fire.
You're really returning just peace of mind, it seems.
Yeah, and trying to limit the trauma that they've already gone through of losing their house, or parts of their house, or I mean just even having to escape your house like that in a fire is a traumatic event. So trying to limit that is really incredible.
Yeah, it is, and that's where we're still working on it, on what to actually have. But like I said, the blankets and stuff, but like even down to shoes. You run out of your house, it's on fire. We want to make sure that you have a pair of shoes or something to put on, and just kind of make you feel comfortable.
It's all those little things.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned too, like coloring books for the kids, so they kind of have something to do during a scary time. So you guys have really thought of all of it.
And we started by saying that, October is Fire Prevention Month. You have a couple of facts and figures about just some things that people should keep in mind for, I mean, not just October, but just in mind if you're a homeowner about fires and preventing them.
Yeah, absolutely. So statistics show that 49% of the house fires right now are kitchen-related house fires. Stoves being left on, not checking the knobs when you're done cooking or walking away from food can really cause that traumatic event. Followed by that is electrical fires, and going into the cold season, chimney fires, making sure your chimneys are clean, that's not catching fire and destroying your house for you.
Awesome. Well, William, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about sort of this next big project for Paul Davis Restoration. We know that restoration is a big part of what you do. We know that you guys also do regular remodels. It's not just after the fact. So if you are looking, to get your kitchen just redone in general, or any room in your house redone in general, you guys are there for that too. But thanks for coming in and telling us about this awesome community outreach that you guys are working on. But don't go anywhere, because we do have a little bit more Coast Life headed your way.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration.